Plaintiff Julianne Bollettieri has been friends with the defendant's daughter since middle school, and she was also very close with the defendant. Julianne claims the defendant and her family always had money problems, so she offered to loan her $1,500, but the defendant has yet to repay her. Defendant Stephanie Brandel and her daughter Casey say Stephanie treated Julianne like part of her family, and she was always a mother figure to her. Stephanie admits that she borrowed money from Julianne, but she's devastated that this money has caused a rift between Casey and Julianne.
Prove your case.
I've been friends with Casey Brandel since elementary school. We started to be best friends in middle school. I've been friends with her mother. Her mother's like the place where you'd go to get away. If you had strict parents, you'd go, you just hang out. It was very comforting, cared about them a lot. They've always had money problems. They lived with her mother, and then when her mother died, they moved out, got their own apartment. I've always been there. If her daughter ever needed a ride, I gave her daughter a ride everywhere. I drove her to work, I drove her to school. I would do pretty much anything. When she was drunk over the weekend, 3 a.m, I would go pick her up. Anything I would do. We've had a couple of falling outs. I've always stayed in contact with Stephanie, though, through all of our falling outs. She was being evicted from her home, and she needed $1,500.
Before we get into the loan, let me allow her to give some background. Ma'am?
Yes, Julian has been a part of our family just about since 6th grade. Her and Casey have been real good friends. I love her like my own. Unfortunately, things have happened between her and Casey that has caused some problems in the relationship.
Like what?
I'm not really sure, Your Honor. It was between the girls.
Gotcha.
But as I said, I've loved her like my own. I've welcomed my home into with open arms. As always, she had some problems within her family. I was more or less a mother figure to her, always there for her.
Was
yes,
she very
Julie
generous
has been wonderful to us.
Right.
I don't deny that one little bit.
Okay.
She's been, like I said, like a daughter. She's helped Casey with rides, of course she has. But this is like every time there's a little argument or something between them, this is something that happens. And
what happens?
I don't know, like they don't talk for a year, and then the next thing you know, Your Honor, then she's calling to be friends again.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this time I've been following the blunt of this with all this money situation. I mean, I've been a product of this.
Go ahead and tell me what happened.
Well, when we had a falling out, I had won my money back because obviously if
Tell me how much you loaned her and when.
$1,500 in December of 2008. I have the paper if you want to see it.
When was she to repay?
We had an agreement within a couple of months, but she said I was going to be the first person that she repaid. She was having money problems, so I told her that it was fine.
Where did she indicate she would get the money to repay you in a couple of months?
Where did she say? She had a full-time job.
Okay, and she had enough of salary to be able to save $1,500 in 2 months?
Yes, they were living with their friends.
Okay.
So she said within a couple months, but each time she had another reason. So I was friends with them. I said, okay, that's fine. But 3 years in December is kind of a ridiculous amount of time to wait for money. I've had 4 payments, 2 of $200 and 2 of $25 payments. This summer was the $25 payment. She said she would pay me $25 a week, which is kind of ridiculous, but I accepted it as long as I got the money. She only gave me 2 of those payments since the summer. So I've only received 2 of those $25 payments.
When's the last payment you received?
The last payment is July of 2010.
All right. Ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor, and that's true. I've been trying to pay her back. Unfortunately, we did fall on some hard times. I had 8 surgeries in 10 years. I was on disability. I lived with my parents raising my daughter. I've been at my job 17 years, Your Honor. I make $14 an hour.
What did you need the money for?
For the rent, Your Honor. I was behind because I was on disability.
Okay.
And she helped me get caught up.
Hold on. How long had you been on disability?
Off and on in the last 10 years, a couple times, Your Honor.
Okay, but couldn't you project the amount of money you were going to have, or it came suddenly? The disability would come suddenly?
Well, yeah, the surgeries would come, unfortunately,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Do you have any defense to paying her?
Your Honor, I do. In the last year, I did intend to pay Joy back full-heartedly. So the people that we live with took us in, and I've been paying a little bit here and there with them. A family member is dying of kidney failure, and I've been helping him pay
I
his
got
rent.
you, ma'am, but I need to know if you have a legal defense.
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to have to grant her judgment. I'm sorry to hear about the hard times you're falling on. Judgment for the plaintiff, $1,050.
Thank you.